All right, everybody, we are live with the Working Fans Podcast. It's a man called Dave, and sitting in on me this week is AJ Strangebrew, back at it again.
The man who's so nice they mic'd me twice.
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out here. We'll see how it goes. Producer Joe will tell us what we did good and bad.
I'm waiting for details.
All right, let's kick it off here. Let's talk about AEW All Out that was this past weekend out in Toronto. AJ, I'm just going to get your thoughts. I'm going to go up and down the match. I'm going to skip the pre-show. We're going to get right to the main card. And the first match was Adam Copeland, Christian Cage defeating Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood. To me, the story of the match was afterwards, though, where Beth Phoenix, who had come back, or Beth Copeland, and she ended up helping, got rid of Stokely, but she got Spike Piledriver.
Well, Phoenix, I believe, was her maiden name. I could be wrong. Yeah, she took care of. And why would she have any problems with Stokely whatsoever? She's twice the size of him, and she's got more muscle than both Dax and frickin' Cash. So I'm not really surprised by that. I'm a big fan of Beth Phoenix. You know that. Yeah. I love Beth Copeland. She's not only a good, great wrestler, she's a hell of a person, and she does great things. I don't know if this is going to be a return to the ring full time for her or if it's just going to be a spot thing. I would love to see her back in the ring. I would love to see her with some of these younger talent.
All right, let's continue on. Eddie Kingston returns, gets the win over Big Bill. Happy to see Eddie Kingston back. I guess, what would you like to see from Eddie Kingston going forward?
I love that he was able to stay in ring shape. The guy didn't lose a thing. That's he looked great. I got to tell you, as much as I love Eddie Kingston, though, Big Bill might be one of the biggest wastes in AEW. He has come out. The crowd loves him. He works hard. He looks phenomenal. Why is this guy not getting a bigger push?
Where's Brian Cage? Whatever happened to Brian Cage? What happened to, a lot of these... Wardlow got injured again. So
I saw Brian Cage the other day. He was on an exit for $3.95. I gave him like 75 cents.
That was nice of you. All right, let's continue on. Mark Briscoe defeated MJF in a tables and tacks match. Crazy match, but also really cool to see Mark Briscoe finally get the win over MJF.
Absolutely. And MJF is he's one of those people who doesn't really need to win to get over. He reminds me a lot of a Rowdy Piper in the sense that he could go out there, finagle a loss of some kind, and not... A lot of times, Rowdy obviously wouldn't get pinned, but he would still take a loss somehow. MJF is very similar. He's looking great, doing great, and big things for him. And shout out to his wife, Miss Tout.
All right, continue on. The Demand? Is that what they're calling his ass now? Yeah, the Demand. Ricochet, Bishop Khan, Toa Leona. They defeated the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, they call him the Demand because we're demanding that they bring some personality other than whatever weird voice that is that he does. Now, we've talked about this off camera. We've actually talked about whether or not he's being used correctly.
Yes.
And whether he was getting a bigger push now that he's in AEW. Well, you got to win over the Hurt Syndicate, so it's very hard to argue he's not getting a better push now.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm happy to see Ricochet get the victory here. It's really good for the Gates of Agony, obviously. They needed to get a big win here, and they did. So
I got to ask you, is he Irish? Ricochet?
Yeah, Ricochet, baby. One of the all-time greats. Listen, I'm happy for Ricochet. I do hope that he continues to get a bigger push in AEW. Right now, I was just saying, I think it's been more of a lateral move so far, but let's see as time goes on. Yeah, he is showing more personality.
No, he's definitely showing more personality. Of course, this microphone shows more personality than he showed in the WWE. So,
Mercedes Moné defeated Rio here. Great matchup, but I don't think there's really much to talk about. Mercedes is going to continue to roll on. She's doing the Ultimo Dragon thing. Do you eventually put the women's title on it as well?
Well, they're two of the best wrestlers in the world. I don't know how you feel about the two of them. A lot of people have been commenting that even though she has all these belts, that she's gotten a little stale with the Monet thing. But her wrestling ability is still there, and she brings it every time.
Do you put the women's title on her, you think?
I don't.
Not yet, no.
I don't think it's time. That might be, though, why they've moved the belt to Statlander. They might not have wanted to give her the win over Toni Storm yet. So, obviously, hey, let's put the belt on Statlander. Also, though, with Statlander winning the belt, and we'll talk about this obviously when we get to her, that's got a lot of paths it can go too.
Absolutely. Now, another person who continues to win in AEW, Okada successfully defends the Unified Championship against Takeshita and Masaka Dorada. Okada just keeps winning. Do you put the world title on him at this point?
At some point, you could, but I don't think they've built him up that way. Even though he keeps winning, he's wrestling in matches that are mid-card matches for these championships. And
right, they're good matches, but every match in AEW is basically a good match. And so, like, how is he standing out?
It is where the best wrestlers wrestle.
Jon Moxley defeated Darby Allin in a wild coffin match. I don't.
The highlight to me is the return of Pac.
Right, the return of Pac, and I'm just.
Although Pac should have kept the long hair, his head looks really weird with short hair.
I would have liked to see Darby actually get the win here, but I don't know, maybe you gave Mark Briscoe the big win.
Similar to MJF, he doesn't need the win. Whether Darby wins or not, fans are going to cheer for him, and the bigger underdog you make him, the more fans are going to get behind him. This is actually one of those times I think Tony Khan is actually booking correctly. All
right. Well, we shall see as time goes on. Another big win, and this one surprised me a little bit. Chris Statlander defeated Tony Storm, Jamie Hayter, and Thekla to win the...
Tekla.
Is it Tekla? I thought it was Tekla.
Tekla.
I didn't know it down there. All right, Tekla. For the AEW Women's World Championship, a 4-way. Usually we only see titles change hands in singles matches a lot in AEW, feels like. So,
I actually had a gut feeling that the title was going to change hands here. I didn't expect Jamie Hayter to get it because I just didn't feel like it was coming. I had a feeling they were going to go with Statlander because of everything that's going on with Marina Shafir, with the whole thing that's going on there with the Death Riders. I think that there's something brewing there, and I'm hoping that it leads to more matches for Marina Shafir.
Yeah, that could be a lot of fun. I like that. Now,
speaking of Marina Shafir, I know this is a little off topic. Did you see the interaction with her and her husband when he was wrestling Jon Moxley?
Yeah, that was interesting. They alluded to it, but they didn't delve deep into it.
But she broke a little bit. You could see her actually, a smile come to her face.
Yeah. All right, so we had that fatal 4-way, and then we went to a 4-way ladder match for the AEW World Tag Team Champions. Brody King and Bandito defeated the Bucks, Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey, and Josh Alexander and basically the Hechicero. Thank you, Don Callis family.
I'm glad you're the one reading the names.
Thank you.
Now I got to tell you, there are individuals in this match that I like.
Yes, I like Hechicero.
I like Hechicero. I like Josh Alexander. I'm a big Brody King fan. Love Brody King, but 90% of the people in this match I don't give a shit about. So unfortunately, even though it was a brutal match, it didn't connect with me. It didn't make me want to watch the match.
And that's maybe a problem you have maybe with AEW as a whole, right? Like, you love AEW, you like this alternative. You feel like the storytelling isn't where it should be.
It's not connecting.
Yeah.
So you're putting teams together that make no sense whatsoever.
But this next match, I'm going to say your two guys you do care about. Hangman Page defeats Kyle Fletcher. Successfully defends this AEW championship. And I know you happen to like both these guys.
So Hangman Page reminds me of Magnum TA.
Mm-hmm.
He always has that vibe for me. They're from the same part of the Mid-Atlantic. Maybe that's why. So I do like Hangman Page. I think Kyle Fletcher is the future of AEW if booked correctly.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic heel. He's got the best heel manager in the game right now, Don Callis.
For sure.
And they are freaking awesome. I love the kid. I hope that they strap a rocket to him. Let's bring him to the moon.
All right. So that was AEW All Out. Let's get to Wrestlepalooza, and then we'll talk about these two shows. All right, Wrestlepalooza kicked off. Brock Lesnar versus John Cena.
Hey, if you don't mind, Dave, real quick, let's give a shout out to the... Oh, wait a minute. Now there's one person watching us. There were 3 people watching us. I was going to give a shout out to all 3 of them. Fuck the other 2. You who's still watching, we love you.
All right. Thank you. Brock Lesnar, John Cena. Paul Heyman introduced Brock Lesnar as he got in the ring. That was a bit of surprise.
We're up to 6 people, folks.
All right.
Sorry.
All right. Brock Lesnar, John Cena. Who do you think? Like, were you surprised by this? I was surprised. They basically
not even remotely.
I wasn't surprised. I just thought, one, I thought Cena was going to win. I'll be honest. And two, it kind of reenacted the 2016 match. Cena got very little offense here.
I believe it was 2014. I could be wrong.
Okay, I thought it was 6, but whatever.
But not the point. Not the point.
Yeah.
So I'm just busting Dave Stones here. Mm-hmm. It was a hell of a match because it told a story. John Cena is on his way out the door. Why would you put him over the Beast Brock Lesnar?
I didn't know for sure Brock was going to be sticking around, too.
No, Brock's sticking around, baby.
And apparently he is.
Brock is here. He's real, and he's the last real ass kicker. You heard it here first.
Now, this might have been considered upset, but this didn't surprise me. The Vision, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed defeated the Usos. LA Knight was the special referee, and I think the story for me was also Jey Uso ended up, I want to say he slammed a chair on Braun Breaker, and it ricocheted and busted himself open.
He hit him across the back with it. It came back up and hit him right in the freaking forehead, busting himself open. It was like something you'd see out of a Three Stooges movie. It was fantastic.
Were you surprised by this, or were you happy with the result?
I was happy with the result. I was not surprised because I think that they really are booking Braun Breaker as your next megastar.
All right, continuing on. I like this one a lot. Stephanie Vercoeur defeated Io Sky for the Women's Championship, the vacant Women's Championship. Stephanie Vercoeur, to me, just comes off like a star.
Best match of the night. In my opinion, the best match of the night. They told the story. Here's a little backstory, and it's something Triple H talked about later. People don't realize Stephanie Vercoeur hadn't wrestled on TV. The reason why she hadn't wrestled on TV, battling illness. She had flu-like symptoms leading right up to the event. She ended up being cleared that day to wrestle, and she wrestled that match after being sick for over a week. That is absolutely fantastic. And Io Sky is always fantastic. One of the best women's wrestlers in the world. And here's the difference between her and Mercedes Moné. Mercedes Moné, to me, is getting boring. Io Shirai, every time we see her, shows us and plays us with a different emotion to a point where we don't know where it's going to go. And that leads up to the next Raw.
All right. CM Punk and AJ Lee defeated Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Story of the match here was AJ Lee. She came back. I thought she looked good for what you can expect for someone who hasn't been in the ring for a long, long time. But, a lot of great storytelling, and I felt like the other people in this match really helped pull this off.
Whoever the producers were on this match did an awesome job keeping CM Punk in there as long as he did. And by the way, CM Punk 2 years ago couldn't have worked as long as he did in this match. Kudos to CM Punk. He has gotten himself back to being one of the best in the world. I didn't know if that was ever going to happen. He certainly didn't look that way in AEW. He didn't look that way when he first got back to the WWE. But my God, CM Punk is back. And, well, I love AJ Lee.
AJ Lee is great. Hey, listen, final match of the night, Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre. Cody Rhodes successfully defends the title. They did make a issue at one point that the ref was basically not going to allow Drew to kick his head and get into the table, which Wade was saying was not illegal, which I thought was interesting because, yes, the battle's taken on the outside of the floor, but at what point is it illegal? So
if he takes the table, picks it up, and hits him with it, it's illegal.
Right.
But kicking somebody into something is not illegal.
It just seems like
you
a little
might
ridiculous.
remember the old drop toe hold into the chair by Raven. Never illegal. This match did nothing for me. I don't know how the fans feel about it. I know some fans love Cody, some fans don't. But that's not what bothers me. What bothers me is they're doing a piss poor job of booking Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is one of the best heels in the business. If you let him do what he does best, he's a psychopath. He's a heel. Let the man off his leash and let's do something with Drew.
All right, that was Wrestlepalooza. Actually, let's just talk about Raw a little bit briefly. I don't have much to say about Raw this past week. I was not overly excited. We did set up a couple things for Crown Jewel. We're going to have Cody versus Seth in the, what do they call it, the Crown Jewel World Championship, basically.
Yeah. Basically, the two champions, men and women, they both wrestle for the Crown Jewel, and I believe you get a ring or something like that. You
get a ring. Now, Cody brought up something interesting here, though. When he left that Seth in the ring, he said, you've always been by yourself. And he said, what was the final question? He was like, who won all those matches? Cody has let you lose to Seth. Will this be any different?
I think he's losing.
You do?
Yeah. I think Seth's going over, and I think there will be interference in it.
Okay.
Maybe Brock Lesnar.
And Stephanie McClure, we know she's going to be in the women's version of this, but she's going to either be facing Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax, or Jade Cargill. Who are you picking?
So here's the problem. There's been some speculation because we haven't seen her on TV for a little while that she's injured. Tiffany Stratton.
Yes.
If she's injured, then it's got to be one of the other two.
Which would be Jade.
Yeah. I don't want to see Jade versus Stephanie McClure.
Jade's going to squash Stephanie, probably. Well, not squash her, but she'll get the win.
I don't want to see that. Plus, I don't think it's time yet to put the belt on Jade. I would be interested to see what she could do with Nia Jax.
Stephanie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be interested. Yeah.
But I still think Tiffany's going over.
All right. And then
whoa. Who do you think's going over?
I'm going to go with Tiffany. And I'll go with Tiffany versus Stephanie. And I'll say Stephanie gets the win. I think because that's the most.
I think Stephanie's going over too, no matter who wins.
Actually, it's funny though. I have a harder time. I could see Stephanie more likely losing to one of the other two than Tiffany. I feel Tiffany's hot enough
because of the size difference. As much as we like Stephanie, she's still on. She's not as small as Io Shirai, but she is a lot smaller than the other two.
Now, two other things I want to talk about. One, Bayley.
Great character.
She has the back and forth right now in her mind where she seems to be going to ding dong, idiot Bayley, to hugger Bayley.
Yeah, to role model.
Right. Yeah. So, where do you think this is eventually going? Is this going to settle in a heel, or is she going to continue to be this tweener? Where do you think we're going with this?
I think it's going to get her over. Mm-hmm. I think people are going to cheer for this. Even if they're trying to make her into a heel, I don't think it's going to work. I think people love it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be interesting, and I think Lyra Valkyria is going to be in an awkward spot because of this. Because I think Bayley will be so cheered. Final thing, Asuka turns heel officially. I was going
to say she's been pretty heel for a while.
But now it's official. She blows the miss in Rhea Ripley's face, and then they jump Io Sky at the end of it. And Kylie saying, I don't know. I still don't know if it's totally willful or
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, I haven't quite figured that out, which makes it kind of a more interesting.
So I think you're going to walk that line for a while, and then eventually you're going to see her just completely turn heel.
Is Asuka probably the one who eventually takes the title off of Stephanie?
She definitely could be. Asuka's one of the best women in the world. Also, she's fantastic. There's so many talented women right now. We need to every year have that women's revolution pay-per-view. That should be a yearly event.
I hope they do now. I hope they do. Oh, you know what? This is not on the books to talk about, and I don't know why.
Whatever you want.
But it was at Wrestlepalooza. Stephanie McMahon in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, absolutely. She deserves it. Why not?
Right. Did you like the way they did it with Undertaker coming out? That caught me off guard.
So the reason why they did that is because Undertaker obviously surprised Triple H also, so it's in the same state. I'm a big fan of Stephanie.
Yeah.
I think she's brought a lot to the business. She's brought a lot to women's wrestling. She legitimately loves the business. You can say whatever you want about nepotism, but that girl has worked her ass off, and I'm happy to see it.
And I know people aren't going to like this, especially about Vince, but maybe all the McMahons probably do deserve to be in there in terms of what they kind of attributed to the. How do you not have Vince in there? But I know. I get it.
Yeah, but it's not the WWE. I don't think Vince will allow himself to be put in there.
I don't think he will either, and I don't think TKO is in a hurry to do that right now.
No, unfortunately that's going to be a post mortem thing where I think we're not going to see it until he dies. Yeah.
All right.
Which, if he keeps driving the way he is on in Greenwich and on the Merritt Parkway, might not be as long a way as we think.
Let's get to who won. Wrestlepalooza All Out. It's interesting because I was a busy weekend for me. I thought All Out had the better wrestling overall, but I think that's pretty typical with AEW. I thought Wrestlepalooza had a really good look to the show, but overall, for being on ESPN and everything debut, I thought it was a good show, but it didn't blow me out of the water. So overall, I guess I would have gave it to All Out, this one.
I agree with you. I think All Out, I want to disagree, I do, but I think All Out had the bigger moments with some of the matches. You had some individual moments on Wrestlepalooza, but a lot of it is going to be forgotten in 3 months.
Although Stephanie McCurr winning the title might have been my favorite thing all weekend.
It might have been. Yeah. Personally. To me, the return of Beth Phoenix was the biggest thing.
That's a good one, too. But she did have to take the spike power driver, though. So, hey.
Yeah.
All right. So we're not going to talk a lot about that.
We didn't even talk about the return of Jungle Boy.
Or the return of Luchasaurus, essentially, who's no longer a kill switch. That's fine. I don't care about Jungle Boy.
I will say this.
Sorry.
We are not the target audience for Jungle.
No, hey, I hope Jack Perry and the dinosaur do well together.
I will say this. When that music started
that
playing,
was cool.
The crowd went fucking nuts.
Yeah, I get it. I kind of like the song, but we'll see what happens. Anyway. All right. Speaking of not cool, we're going to touch on this briefly, only because everybody else has. Raza Jackson, AJ, just to get your thoughts about it, because I haven't had a chance to talk to you. What do you think about this?
As someone who's been in the ring, as someone who has worked, you trust your body to somebody in the ring. When somebody comes up behind you with no storyline whatsoever, grabs you, dumps you on your head. Now, I know there was stuff that leads up to it. I know it was disrespectful. I know that obviously it was uncalled for beforehand. They were not the same level. It's like it would be like you hitting me with a feather duster, and me going out, grabbing a baseball bat, and hitting you with it.
Right, and obviously there was some people who were getting in this kid's head and basically telling him, you go get your receipt. You need to get your receipt. But this was not a receipt. This was a guy taking liberties with somebody. The
problem is in the wrestling business, there's always going to be people that are telling you what you deserve and where you should be. A lot of them are telling you that because they're testing you and they want to see if you're a psychopath or if you're going to frickin'. I think this is a case of Rampage Jackson's son being entitled. I think it's a case of him thinking, hey, nobody's going to disrespect me. Nobody's going to... my dad's a legend. This is uncalled for. And maybe I'm wrong on that, but maybe he's the sweetest kid in the world. But he didn't show that night. No,
I think he's got some emotional issues that maybe I think being the son of Rampage, he feels like he has to live up to that reputation. And, he had people online calling him a bitch, and that seemed to bother him. I would not, that wouldn't affect my day whatsoever.
Guys, if you want to call me a bitch, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because I'll piss on you like a female dog.
But yeah, at the end of the day, I think there's been enough talked about this. He was arrested finally. I thought bail was set low. It was only $50,000. That's not going to be a problem for this.
Well, especially considering bail, you actually only pay 10%, so it's $5,000.
Yeah, he'll be fine. Let's talk about money. Ticket prices for WrestleMania in the thousands.
Also $5,000.
Some more.
We'll see you in Vegas.
Do you think that's going to be... I don't think it's going to be an issue in Vegas.
So here's the thing.
Will they get this ticket prices elsewhere?
TKO has said flat out that Vince McMahon was creating a family product, so he kept the prices low so that people were accountable. Right. I don't feel like the ticket prices were low to begin with. No. I don't know about you, but if you go to an event at like the Hartford and you want to be, let's say, in like the second row like I was last year, it cost me $575 to be in the second row for a non-televised event in the Hartford freaking. So I'm afraid of what TKO thinks is a reasonable ticket price.
Yeah, I feel like they're going off of UFC and boxing. And it's a little scary, honestly.
If you eliminate the family and you're going towards just the hardcore fans that are going to pay thousands of dollars,
the people that have the money there are going to do that for so long.
Your arena shows are not going to be bringing in 70,000 people anymore.
No, I mean, you do run the risk of, kind of getting away from your grassroots audience.
Unless you bring it to a place like Saudi Arabia where everybody can afford $7,000 seats.
WrestleMania 43 in Riyadh, baby.
How is that for a segue, producer Joe? And where everybody's forced to go by the government. I mean, that's a little bit different.
I don't have a problem with a one-off WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia as much as some people do. I actually have more of a problem with the ticket prices in Vegas. I wish they lowered that.
I have a problem with the one-off in Saudi, and here's my problem with it.
Okay.
Did you see the look on the faces of the women?
Okay, fair enough.
When they announced it, you are now basically, to me, what we talked about before with the women's revolution, how much they progressed and how great they are. You're now saying you guys are second-class citizens. We're going to hold it here, even though they don't respect what you do.
Well, let me tell you this too. I think they're trying to make changes in the government. I think the women seemed to enjoy some of the previous shows. I don't know if nobody looked really happy that they were having WrestleMania there, and that's been kind of the thing they've been showing. I said to me personally, it doesn't bother me much because look, I'm not going to WrestleMania that year anyway, and I know they're going to get paid a shit ton of money to do this. But that being said, I'm in the minority. Because when they put up this thing, they have people literally, and the WWE's hot right now. Literally, people are yelling, "You sold out! You sold out!"
I heard that Matt Cardona is actually planning an invasion angle.
Perhaps. Welcome to the show, Randy Ozka. It's the phenomenal Dave, tremendous
Randy Ozka.
Yes, always good to see Randy Ozka in the comments.
Why don't you put up Randy's comment? What was
I did.
Yeah,
I'll do it again. We'll put it back one more time. The phenomenal Dave and the tremendous AJ.
I love that. So shouldn't AJ be phenomenal?
Well,
and Dave with his tremors.
Tremendous.
Oh, tremendous, Dave.
Well, all right. Also, hi.
So say cool.
So say cool, baby. Thank you for commenting.
Kaiser so say.
Appreciate that. Appreciate everybody getting involved. Guys, we've been at this for almost a half hour now. We've talked some wrestling. Please like, subscribe if you're not already. Let us know in the comments about some of your stuff about what you're liking in wrestling. And hey, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Don't forget to tune into all of our platforms and catch the Combat Cast too. If you like MMA, we talked about TKO. Don't be afraid to go and check out a man called Dave and Cheveruni over there. They're talking great shit about the Combat Cast.
Also, here's some sponsors before we get out of here.
Read about the Northern Wrestling Federation in the book presented by Wrestleville.com, The Pro Wrestling Vault, Volume 2. Hear the story of Roger Ruffin, the man who trained Carl Anderson, the Monster Abyss, Jordan Clearwater, Chris Harris, and Jillian Hall.
Plus 45 other short stories, including Jazz, Bobby Eaton, Kamala, Thunder Rosa, Mario Mancini, Scott Casey, PJ Black, Kerry Morton, Sal Renaro, Jeremiah Plunkett, Colby Carino, Bam Bam Malone, and many others.
Get your book today at Wrestleville.com. Wrestleville. It's where wrestling lives.
All you guys go wrestling fans out there, listen.
Author Ray Lopez presents Lockup, Professional Wrestling in Our World. Lockup dives headfirst into the colorful world of professional wrestling. Explore the iconic characters, careers, matches, history, and families, and delve into the bizarre and fascinating entwining of professional wrestling and film, television, football, politics, gender, and race. Pre-orders are available now on Amazon.com or at MascotBooks.com. This is the perfect gift for the wrestling fan in your life. Pick up a copy today on Amazon.com or at MascotBooks.com.
Hey fans, it's the man they call Dave with producer Joe, and you probably know us as the commentary team for New Heights Pro Wrestling, but when we're not doing that, we got a podcast.
That is the Working Fans Podcast, where we talk pro wrestling, comedy, MMA, and so much more.
And tell them about that signature segment.
Oh, you talk about the 531?
You know I am.
That is a homegrown creation that has been our namesake. And if you want to know our namesake, we got Chevy, AJ Strangebrew, as well as the two of us.
And why don't you go to our channel, like, subscribe, show us some love.
Rate, review, all of it.